Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the number maze activity for Vex VR. This activity is going to allow you to code your robot to turn a bunch of different ways, follow through a maze, find different numbers in the maze, and hopefully get out at the end. So stick around for the tutorial, and let's get started.
Okay, so now that we're on our Google Classroom, we can go to Classwork. We're going to scroll down to Unit 3 Automation, and we're going to click on Vex VR Activity 2 Number Maze. Again, you have the link to the Vex VR website. You can open that up. And we also have our Google Doc for the activity instructions. Remember, this is just a tutorial. You can close this out. And this is to just save my code from the last time, so I'm going to get rid of that. I can open up my playground. Now let's check which playground should we be in for the number maze. We're in playground wall maze. And the screenshot here is that's what it should look like. So if it doesn't look like that before you start, you're in the wrong playground. I'm going to go to wall maze. And that looks like it should, so we're set. We have our little robot down here in the bottom middle on the green, tree double triangle thing here. All right, so let's read the helpful hints first. So we're just using the drive block for a lot of these. We're gonna be turning and we're gonna be following through the maze. And it says, use the drivetrain for a given distance, so that way you can control how far it moves before hitting the wall. So level 1, program the VR robot to move through the maze from start, where it's starting right now, to the finished checkered square. So this red checkered square at the top. So we're going from where we are right now up to the top. Obviously, these red lines, these are not just lines, these are actual walls in the maze. Remember the bottom right, if say I wanted to see this from a different view, you can see, okay, well here's my front view, or I could go from an angle. So these are actually walls. And once you simulate if you want to do this, go ahead. But for my sake, in the screenshot, you want this top view. Okay, so we're just going to be using the drive and turn and stop driving for the most part here. Again, we can start off with setting our drive velocity and our turn velocity to 100%. That way it's a little quicker. Once we hit start simulate, we're going to, again, put in our pen tool, so move robot pen down. So once we've moved that robot pen down, now we're ready to kind of start our code in driving. So the first one, we are going to drive forward for, it looks like about 1 block. These are not the same as the grid, but they're the same size. So about 1 block. So I'm going to say drive forward for 200 millimeters. That's about 1 grid square. I'm then going to have to turn left. So turn, I'm going to drop down arrows. You can change between right and left. Turn left for 90 degrees. And just before we keep going, let's make sure that starts off correctly. Yep, driving, then we turn. Okay, looks good to me. Now the next thing we have to do is drive forward for 200 millimeters. Let's try 200 again. Now we're going to turn right, 90 degrees. So now we're facing upwards again. And we can drive forward another 200. All right, let's check on it again. Let's start. Forward, turns, goes. Oh, you kind of see here, this line is not straight. It's bumping into the wall, so it's not going to go the same distance or turn correctly. So we need to adjust the distance that we drive so it does not hit the wall. So this you're going to have to play around with a little bit. We'll say for this first line, we'll go a little farther. We'll go 225 millimeters. And the second one, maybe we'll go 250 because it's already up against that wall. So we'll change these. Now let's try that again. We'll change the last one to 50 as well. Alright, see if it goes a little smoother this time. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so as you're going through this, you may need to adjust the distances that you're driving just slightly so you're not hitting the wall. Now we can turn left for 90 degrees. We can drive forward, we'll say 225 again. We're going to then turn right, so we're facing upwards again. And as you go through this, you're just going to have to go step by step which direction you need to be facing in your code. So we'll check it. Here we go. So far it looks good. And I'm not going to go through and do the entire thing because this will be a long video. But then you're going to have to go through and finish the pathway all the way to the red square up at the top. You can see some of these distances are longer than just one grid square. So you're just going to have to play around, try a distance. If it's too short or too long, adjust it. That's why you can reset this always and keep it in play. You have to go around, avoid all the red walls, and end up at our finished red check up here. Okay, so that is for level 1. Level 2, program the VR robot to move through the maze, stopping on each of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and then traveling to the finish. Okay, the VR robot should stop on each number. So this time we're going over to the number 1, and then we're coming back, go over to 2, go over to 3, then we go over to 4, and then we're going to the finish. So let me start this off again here, okay? I can keep some of my code. I'm going to keep the drive velocity in the pen, but the rest I'm going to get rid of. So before you have to get to 1 first, I'm going to turn right for 90 degrees. I'm going to drive forward, we'll say 200 for now. And then I have to turn left. Drive forward 200. I have to turn right, so I'm facing the right. Drive forward. That looks a little longer. Why don't we say that's 2 grid squares? We'll say 400. To turn right again, I have to drive forward for 200, and I have to turn right again. I have to drive forward. So that's all just to get to the number 1. You can see it didn't take us that long to get all this, but it will be a really long code by the time we get all the way through it. So that's why for these screenshots, like I said, if you can't get the whole code, take the screenshot of when started and then as much as you can. And then I'll see if it was fully right once you take the screenshot of your playground. So let's hit play. See what it does. Okay, it's going. Hit the wall a little bit, so we may have to, yep, so it's hitting the wall, so we have to adjust our distances. 500. Alright. There we go. And it stops right there. So when you get to the spot, you can hit stop driving, because remember, our level said the VR robot should stop on each number. So at this point, we've gotten to our stop at 1. Now we make our way back to the beginning, then we go to 2, then we go to 3, we go around to 4, and then we end up at the finish. Okay? So that is what we are going to do for level 2. Now, level 3 is pretty much the same thing. We're just trying it in reverse, where we start at the beginning and we go up to 4, and then we go back to 3. We can go down to 2, and then we can go over to 1. Now, that's being the same as it is, and we aren't really learning any new block coding for that. It's just going to take up some more time. I'm going to say you can do that for bonus. Okay? So for this one, for 2, the number maze, I want to see your level 2 screenshot in the final screenshots. Level 3, if you want to do it, add it on the bottom as another screenshot, so you would have 3 screenshots, and that can be for bonus points, okay? So level 2 screenshot submitted. Level 3 is a bonus. And again, you're submitting the screenshot of the completed, fully simulated pattern. So not just what I did, you then have to go to the other numbers and then the finish. Okay, if you're stuck with this, let me know in class. And Wednesday during class or in the office hours, be glad to help you. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.